One time I remember we were driving somewhere together.
I remember that too.
And it was like not an Uber, but something like an app that you gather around with
like
other
a car
people,
share.
and they are going in the same direction as you, so you can come together. And all the journey I pretended to be from abroad and not speaking Polish because it was a long trip and I was not mentally prepared for talking for 3 hours inside the car. Hello guys.
Hi everyone.
I am Waldemar.
And I'm Weronika.
And today we are watching another clip of Tom Segura. Tom Segura. And I think it's the older one because he looks much younger and much more hairy.
And also, like, he didn't have the famous on TV syndrome yet. You know, when you get famous and then you start looking really well.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you mean he looks bad?
No, he doesn't look bad. He just looks better in the Netflix special. Because I think he had a more,
yeah, but that's true. That's the thing about stand-up comedians. Very often, like, they peak after 50. Like, if you watch Jim Jeffries, for example, or maybe not Bill Burr, but with Jim Jeffries, he became more hairy on the head with years past.
Yeah.
Now he looks like no tummy, full head of hair.
And same for George Carlin. Like, he always looked good, but first he looked a bit like that mad uncle that you're kind of scared of, and then he started looking more and more dignified.
Ah, okay. Yeah, but he also was, on the stage before the clip that you know, because I think the first one you know is the 7 Dirty Words. That's when he looked like a mad uncle.
I think I saw some photos from when he was young as well.
Yeah, and then he was wearing suits and stuff like that, so he looked, I think, pretty dignified. Can get more dignified than with a suit, yeah.
But coming back to Tom Segura, this clip is called, you didn't say, right? Every family has one stupid person.
Yeah, it's a very optimistic title, I think.
That's just one stupid person.
I think there is more.
Or is it like the base minimum? I don't know.
That's like what?
Is it like the minimum that you have at least one person?
I think there are families who,
are comprised entirely of stupid people.
Yeah, they balance it for the rest of us.
The rest of us, assuming we are not stupid.
I am not stupid.
It's good to have the self-confidence.
All right, let's begin?
Let's begin.
I think my favorite thing about being an American in Canada is that there is no depth to how stupid you feel we are capable of being. Yeah. Anything is possible as long as we end our sentence with, "Oh, I'm American." And you're like, "Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you're the dumbest person alive. Yeah. Like, I could be like, "I didn't know you guys have electricity." And you'd be like, "What, are you out of your mind?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm American." And you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's totally reasonable." Yeah. You're like, I feel like every family has at least one profoundly stupid person in the family. Talk amongst yourselves. Even really successful families. Like, you ever meet a family where it's like a doctor married a lawyer, and they're like, our 3 kids went to Harvard and Yale and Princeton, and you're like, yeah, but you have 4 kids. And they're like, yeah, he's out back. What's he doing? Just trying to figure shit out. What kind of shit? Like, don't stare at the sun? Shit like that? Don't you have somebody that you call, like, just to feel smarter? You don't have somebody like that? Like, you're having a really bad day, you're like, oh man, today sucks. I'm gonna call my cousin Brian. That's not your cousin, Brian. I'm talking about my cousin Brian. If you guys are like, I don't have a cousin Brian, I was talking about my cousin. I called him a few weeks ago, and I was like, what's up? And he goes, just putting together a list of the smartest animals. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, just sure. For your research, I get it, yeah. And he's like, I got it down to the top 3 smartest animals. It's dolphins, elephants and wolves. And he goes, which do you think is the smartest? And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know about those. I just know that humans, we're the smartest animal of all. We're the most sophisticated. And he said, what makes you say that? Highways? Open heart surgery? Shit that dolphins don't do? Are we really going to argue this one out? Plus we have...
I'm thinking about smart humans, about the study I told you about, that our brains don't always work to our advantage, that there was this study that they checked if an animal, including a human, is crossing the road and a car approaches, which animal does the best at reacting appropriately.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, and humans didn't do that well.
Pigs were the best?
I think pigs were the best, and humans were like in the top 10, so we didn't do that well.
Yeah, but also, every time I hear this argument that we are the most intelligent species on this planet, and that's not a question. It's nothing to argue with. But we like to brag, about all those things like, oh, we are the ones who went to the moon. We are the ones who created internet. We created electricity. Like, yeah, some of us, like not even 1%, like 1% of 1% of 1%. Yeah. But the rest of us, like kind of makes you think. Like, if somebody said that already, but if all those people, all those smart people, and we are not one of those people. Like, I mean, those really smart people. Like, if they were extinct, or like they went somewhere and they went into hiding, like, we are completely fucked. Like, we are totally fucked.
Actually, I don't know how true that is.
Like,
I'm not talking about fit people, I'll cut it short, but I'm not talking about people like Einstein. But when you had different civilizations arrive at the same conclusions all over the globe, even though they had no contact with each other, that there's like part of who you are as a human, that you will come up with these solutions. And I'm not saying we would have definitely come up with electricity, but like even like Tesla and Edison, they were doing kind of the same research from the start. And people can arrive to the same conclusions even if they are not super exceptional, if you know what I mean. Like, there's a bigger pool of people, and if someone didn't, I don't know, if Columbus didn't figure America out, kind of, then someone else would have. If someone, I don't know, if Copernicus didn't prove that the Earth was revolving around the sun, then someone else would have, because other people were already researching it. They are still the smartest people, but... Yeah,
but what I mean is that we are relying nowadays on a technology created and controlled by a very small group of people. Oh yeah,
like phones or internet.
And if those people disappeared during one night, like let's say 1 million of the smartest people today.
Yeah, true.
Like all those people who run the big corporations, like like Apple, Samsung, stuff like that. And now suddenly you are without internet. You are without connection to satellites.
Yeah, like the power plants that you don't know how to plug them back in. Yeah.
Try to figure it out now. Like, you have a phone, but no connection, nothing. You have the satellites up there, and you're like,
yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Have thumbs. He's also one of these guys. Like, if we go out to eat, every time we go out to eat, if I order first, if I go, yeah, let me get the teriyaki chicken, he'll be like, ah, man, that's what I was gonna get. You still can. Because we're at a restaurant. I didn't order the last one. Yeah, but then we'll both be eating the same thing. You know what I mean? No, I don't know what you mean. Because I'm eating it, and then you're eating it, and it's weird. No, you're weird. It's not weird at all. It's weird if I go, I'm going to propose to Christy, and then you go, I'm going to propose to Christy too. That's weird. Then we have to have a conversation. Like, what are we going to eat at the wedding? Teriyaki chicken? I don't know. People ask me all the time, because I travel so much. I travel almost every week, and people will ask me, they'll be like, oh, is there something you observe, like, about everybody? Like, is there something that stands out about everywhere, And I think there is. I think there's one singular observation, and that is that everybody just wants to connect. It doesn't matter where you go or what language you speak, people just want to connect. And you know when you have chemistry with somebody. You know if you're like, I want to hang out with this person, or I want to date this person, or I want to harness this person to the bottom of my big rig and drive them around for a while and bury them 18 miles west of Lake Worth, and when I drive by, I'll get a boner. We all have these thoughts, right? Everybody gets...
That was very Louis C.K. of him, right?
We all have these thoughts, right? No?
No? I mean, I'm not saying I don't get intrusive thoughts that like I want to punch people or something. Or I used to, when I was a child, I used to imagine that I could stop time and then get up to all sort of stuff. But I've never imagined murdering someone, if only for the sole reason.
Stuff?
Harmless, to be honest. Boring to share. But I don't think I've honestly ever imagined that I would murder someone, just because I don't think I could handle the logistics of it. I mean, that's not a very good reason, but I mean, it's a good reason. It's not morally the best reason, but how do you even get about that? Like, I don't know. I can't carry groceries, let alone like lift something heavy to hit someone with. So you're safe.
Yeah. Poison is not very heavy.
No, but I don't know where to get that. How do you hide the evidence later? That's just, I overthink what I'm going to have for dinner. How on earth could I plot a murder?
Just in case, be vigilant. If suddenly
if something happens, you will know it wasn't me.
If suddenly it's only her on this channel, like, call the police.
It's murder boners, not just me. Sometimes there's nothing there and people try to force a connection. I think that's rude. Like I was checking in at the airport to come here and the lady behind the counter goes, "Where are you going today?" And I said, Montreal. And she goes, I have family in Vancouver. And I was like, what a coincidence. And she goes, yeah, they got a furniture store. And I was like, I like to sit on furniture. We're 2 for 2. I have shoes on. Do you have shoes on? Do you like to walk around? We should party. There's nothing there. Sometimes there's nothing there. You're not supposed to connect with everybody on the planet. That would be an absurd notion. You should embrace that. I've been doing this. You should do this too. Next time you're at a bar or you're just out walking around and somebody goes, "Hey man," just go, "Nope." No, I'm all friended up. And they'll be like, "I just want to know what time it is," and be like, "I only tell my friends what time it is." Thank you guys very much. You're a lot of fun.
I think it's not such a big problem in Europe, more in America, because I heard that people are more open, more like, chit-chatting on the street, stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's also not really, absolutely not a Polish thing. When I was in Scotland and there were a lot of immigrants, it was much more a thing. And I don't know if you remember, but when we were traveling to the UK, and then that lady that spoke to us at the airport, and you were like suspicious, you were like, is she trying to rob us or something? Because she
tried to rob us.
She didn't. It's just that kind of culture. She was just trying to catch a connection.
It's not normal.
But I had that. I had a guy, I was going to university, and he ran after me to talk to me. And I was like, can you stop doing that because I'm scared of you? And he said, oh, why are you scared? No, I just wanted to chat you up. There are cultures like that.
Yeah, but it was a guy and you were a girl, and that was...
Yeah, and she was a woman, she wanted to be friends. And it's the same. It's like people chat you up all the time.
On the airport?
Yes. Like in the street, people chat you up all the time. Like in London, that's just a normal thing. People just come up to you and they will come up to you and they will comment on your outfit. Or comment about something. It's super strange at the beginning. I don't know. Let me know what was the experience in America, or if you've been to Europe, if you experienced that. But I was so weirded out the first time I was in London. You see that the metro and someone starts talking to you, I don't know you, and they're like, oh, blah, 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 oh, my daughter, this and that. Everyone, basically, what you only see in old ladies in Poland that want to share their entire lives with you, half the population is like that. I'm exaggerating.
I'm not one of those people. No. I'm opposite to those people. I'm the kind of person that if you will start a conversation with me in 30 to 40 seconds, you will drop all the attempts of making connection with me.
That's absolutely not true.
And, I'm from Poland, and there was a time I was working abroad, and people were trying to, because I was I was the only guy, from the abroad, the only Polish guy, and let's say that all the people there are Germans or Turkish, but mostly Turkish, but in Germany, Germans and Turkish people, and they were like, "Oh, so you're from Poland?" I'm like, "Yes." My first wife was from Moldavia. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
But you're not like that anymore. You have friends at work, colleagues.
Not friends. It's always weird for me, calling people at work friends.
Yeah.
You never hang out with them outside of the work, but people call those people friends.
Yeah, colleagues, I guess colleagues. Yeah, I know what you mean. I just don't want anyone you to down talk yourself, because it's a character trait, but it's also not that you don't do small talk or something. You're just reserved, but it's good.
Yeah. The worst thing for me is going to barber. Every time I'm at the barber, I'm like, I hope he won't talk to me. I hope he won't talk to me. And then he's like, "So where are you from?" Oh, fuck. How can we cut this off quickly? The same with the taxi driving.
I'm always the one who has to do all the conversation.
I remember
and you just pretend you sleep.
One time I remember we were driving somewhere together.
I remember that too.
And it was not an Uber, but something like an app that you gather around with other people. Share. And they are going in the same direction as you, so you can come together. And all the journey I pretended to be from abroad and not speaking Polish, because it was a long trip and I was not mentally prepared for talking for 3 hours inside the car.
And there was another one when you pretended to be asleep.
Yes.
And then the guy started talking about the dating market dying out, and the guy started talking about his breakup, and then the other one started talking about communism, and I was there on my own. Okay, thanks for watching with us about Tom Segura.